To Kill a Mockingbird, Chapter 18. Mayella, Violet, Yule! Miss Mayella, where were you at dusk on that evening? On the porch? What were you doing on the porch? Nothing. Just tell us what happened. You can do that, can't you? That's enough now. Don't be afraid of anybody here as long as you tell the truth. You've nothing to be ashamed of and nothing to fear. What are you scared of? Him! Mr. Finch? Don't want him doing me like he done Papa, trying to make him out left-handed. How old are you? 19 and a half? Mr. Finch has no idea of scaring you, and if he did, I'm here to stop him. That's one thing I'm sitting up here for. Now you just sit up straight and tell us what happened to you. You can do that, can't you? Well, sir, I was on the porch, and he came along, and you see, there was this old shift robe in the yard Papa had brought in to chop up for kindling, and I wasn't feeling strong enough then, so he came by. Who was he? That in yonder. Robinson. Then what happened? I said, come here and bust up this shift robe for me. I got a nickel for you. So he come in the yard, and I went in the house to get him the nickel, and I turned around, and before I knew it, he was on me. He got me around the neck, cussing me and saying dirt, and I fought and hollered, but he had me around the neck, and he hit me again and again. He chunked me on the floor and choked me and took advantage of me. I hollered for all I was worth, kicked and hollered loud as I could. And then I sort of fainted, and the next thing I knew, Pop was in the room, standing over me, hollering, "Who done it? Who done it?" You said you fought him off as hard as you could, fought him tooth and nail. I positively did. Mayella's recital had given her confidence, but it was not her father's brash kind. There was something stealthy about hers, like a steady-eyed cat with a twitchy tail. Are you positive that he took full advantage of you? He done what he was after. That's all for the time being, but you stay there. I expect big bad Mr. Finch has some questions to ask you. Miss Mayella, I won't try to scare you for a while, not yet. Let's just get acquainted. How old are you? Said I was 19, said to the judge yonder. So you did, ma'am. You'll have to bear with me, Miss Mayella. I'm getting along, and I can't remember as well as I used to. I might ask you things you've already said before, but you'll give me an answer, won't you? Won't answer a word as long as you keep on mocking me. Mr. Finch is not mocking you. What's the matter with you? Long as he keep on calling me ma'am and saying Miss Mayella, I don't have to take his sass. I ain't called upon to take it. We've done business in this court for years and years, and Mr. Finch is always courteous to everybody. He's not trying to mock you. He's trying to be polite. That's just his way. Atticus, let's get on with these proceedings, and let the record show that the witness has not been sassed. Her views to the contrary. Miss Mayella, you say you're 19. How many sisters and brothers you have? 7. You the eldest? The oldest? Yes. How long has your mother been dead? Dunno. Long time. Did you ever go to school? Read and write good as Papa yonder. How long did you go to school? 2 year, 3 year, dunno. Slowly but surely I began to see the pattern of Atticus's questions. Atticus was quietly building up before the jury a picture of the Yule's home life. The jury learned the following things. The relief check was far from enough to feed the family, and there was strong suspicion that Papa drank it up anyway. The weather was seldom cold enough to require shoes, but when it was, you could make dandy ones from strips of old tires. If you wanted to wash, you hauled your own water. The younger children had perpetual colds and suffered from chronic ground itch. There was a lady who came around sometimes to ask Mayella why she didn't stay in school. She wrote down the answer. Papa needed them at home. Miss Mayella, a 19-year-old girl like you must have friends. Don't you know anyone near your age or older or younger? Boys and girls, just ordinary friends? Are you making fun of me again, Mr. Finch? Do you love your father, Miss Mayella? Love him? What you mean? I mean, is he good to you? Is he easy to get along with? He does tolerable, except when he's drinking. Does he ever go after you? How do you mean? When he's riled, has he ever beaten you? My pa's never touched a hair on my head in my life. We've had a good visit, Miss Mayella, but now I guess we'd better get to the case. You say you asked Tom Robinson to come chop up, what was it? A shift robe, an old dresser full of drawers on one side? Was Tom Robinson known to you? I know who he was. He passed the house every day. Didn't ever ask him to come inside the fence before? I did not. I certainly did not. One did not's enough. You never asked him to do odd jobs for you before? I mighta. Can you remember any other occasions? No. All right, now to what happened. You said Tom Robinson got you around the neck cussing and saying dirt. Is that right? That's right. You say he choked me, or he caught me and choked me and took advantage of me. Is that right? That's what I said. Do you remember him beating you about the face? You seem sure enough that he choked you. Do you remember him beating you about the face? It's an easy question, Miss Mayella, so I'll try again. Do you remember him beating you about the face? No, I don't recollect if he hit me. Yes, I do. He hit me. Was your last sentence your answer? Huh? Yeah, he hit me. I don't remember. I just don't remember. It all happened real quick. Don't you cry, young woman. Let her cry if she wants to, Judge. We've got all the time in the world. I'll answer any question you got. Get me up here and mock me, will you? I'll answer any question you got. That's fine. There's only a few more. I want you to be sure you have the right man. Will you identify the man who raped you? I will. That's him right yonder. Tom, stand up. Let Miss Mayella have a long look at you. Scout, look, Reverend, he's crippled. He caught in Mr. Adolphus Raymond's cotton gin when he was a boy. Like to have bled to death, tore all the muscles loose from his bones. Is this the man who raped you? It most certainly is. How? I don't know how he done it, but he done it. I said it all happened so fast, Now let's consider this calmly. Objection! Judge, he's browbeating the witness. Sit down, Horace. He's doing nothing of the sort. If anything, the witness is browbeating Atticus. Miss Mayella, do you wish to reconsider any of your testimony? You want me to say something that didn't happen? No, ma'am. I want you to say something that did happen. I told you what happened. You testified that he choked you. Yes. Then he released your throat and hit you? I said he did. He blackened your left eye with his right fist? I ducked and it glanced. That's what it did. I ducked and it glanced off. You're becoming suddenly clear on this point, Miss Mayella. A while ago, you couldn't remember too well, could you? I said he hit me. Why didn't you run? I tried to. What kept you from it? He slung me down. That's what he did. He slung me down and got on top of me. You were screaming all this time? I certainly was. Then why didn't the other children hear you? Where were they? Were they at the dump? Why didn't your screams make them come running? The dump's closer than the woods, isn't it? Or didn't you scream until you saw your father in the window? You didn't think to scream until then, did you? Who beat you up? Tom Robinson or your father? What did your father see in the window? The crime of rape or the best defense to it? Why don't you tell the truth, child? Didn't Bob Ewell beat you up? I got something to say. And then I ain't gonna say no more. That Edward yonder took advantage of me, and if you fine, fancy gentlemen don't want to do nothing about it, then you're all yellow, stinking cowards. Stinking cowards, the lot of you. Your fancy airs don't come to nothing. Your ma'am and Miss Mayella don't come to nothing, Mr. Finch. Shall we try to wind this up this afternoon? How about it, Atticus? I think we can. How many witnesses you got? 1. Well, call 'em.